What is up? This is the Keyholing podcast with Lemon. This week I have the Grixxly Prints, the sauce expert, the Szechuan Stendo creator, which catalyzed the TX22 craze. We'll talk about that some today. How are you doing today, Mr. Grixxly?
I'm doing pretty good, aside from my car crapping out on me, but other than that, doing pretty good.
Which, if people follow you on Twitter, that is a theme of, like...
Reoccurring theme in my life, yeah. And it happens to be head gaskets.
Oof.
Head gaskets or car gaskets. Car accidents. So...
Oof, rough.
Neither one of them are fun, and that's my luck. So.
Well, we're going to talk about fun stuff today, though. So for people that don't know, it is Grixxly, right? Some people say Grixxly. I don't know why. Like, it's based on T Grizzly, right? Like, that was your... Was that your inspiration?
No, actually. When I started with the name Grizzly, it was like, I don't know, 2012-ish or something like that. And it was just Grizzly because I was doing like music production and stuff, SoundCloud DJ, and just doing like local shows and stuff.
So
and
it sounds like you actually inspired T Grizzly because the Grizzly came before.
Maybe.
T Grizzly then. And it was music production. Oh, I'm starting to connect some dots here.
It's possible.
So you talk about your past. What was the first gun you shot? Like retail or like store manufacturer gun?
The first gun I ever like actually shot ever would have been my dad's. What was it? I don't know. It was just a lever action 22. I don't know like what it was. Just a lever action 22 and a old single shot 410 shotgun.
Oh, hell yes. Classics.
The first two guns I ever shot. All nice and old and wood and nice and fuddy. They were awesome.
Love it. There's something so, like, I do it, like, beyond parody at this point, but, like, the lever action is just so fun. It makes me feel old-time cowboy. Like, it just feels so cool.
Right. It's like having the ultimate fidget spinner.
It really is. Maybe that's what it is. It like is something to keep my my hands busy for sure.
Yeah, it tickles the brain.
What was the first 3D printed gun you saw online?
Probably just way back the Liberator, like just seeing all that, like when it first ever popped up on YouTube and started seeing it online and all that. And then I saw everyone just started doing like 3D printed Glocks were probably the first like actual, like serious 3D printed gun I saw. And then I was like, oh man, these people are making handguns now. I got to get into here.
That is awesome. And that's the one for so many, I feel like, because everybody knows what it is, right? Like everyone sees a Glock and understands, like even if it has like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's head or whatever it may be.
Right.
People see it and they're like, "Oh, I know what Glock mean. I know what Glock is," and that's
It's like universal for anybody, even not like gun people.
No, absolutely. You can have a person so far away from guns, and they're still going to know what a Glock is. Like, if they're part of society as a whole,
right? Which
I think is why it's so important to. And I know, like, a lot of designs are obviously like older and. People are working on new things to take Glock mags, but Glocks I still view as such an important entryway into 3D printed guns for that reason. Because people see it and they go, oh, like, I can get a kit that's, like, relatively cheap. It's something I can play with. It's not hard to get set up. Like, it requires minimal tools. It's such an important step, and I view mags the same way, really, because... of the accessibility and name recognition. Well, obviously it's not Glock. People hear Mac and they're like, oh, gangster gun. Oh, cool.
Right.
And exactly. And it's just an AR-15 fire control group most of the time. Whatever like mag may work with it or whatever mag that person has. And so those I view as such integral like stepping stones into 3D 2A. So what was the first 3D printed gun you made then? Was it a Glock?
No, I actually did the first full one I did a launcher first. I did the what was that old like the cherry popper, but uh
From
no, it was the
Unseen
Unseen
Killer.
Killer. It was the older one, and that was cool. But then I immediately did the Biden's Bane AR-15 5.56, and that was my first actual full printed project.
Oh, that's
I
awesome.
completed it, fired.
It's such an interesting project because while it does have a lot of pieces, it is relatively simple in the way that it's like screws go here, the lower
Yeah,
parts
it's
kit's
hard to
the
mess up.
same. Yeah, and
It was the first simple, complex build I saw that I was like, yeah, I could probably pull that off pretty easy.
and kind of transitioning into that, is that like interest with a particularly, well, I mean, almost fully 3D printed, is that kind of what's pushed your interest in the Ghost Bolt project?
Yeah, well, I found the Ghost Bolt just browsing on the index, and I was just looking, and I saw that said Ghost Bolt beta, and I was like, that looks pretty sick. And it, since I had already done the Biden's Bane, it was pretty similar, probably somewhat based off of that. It was pretty similar build, so I was like, oh, that's gonna be easy. And then I figured out that that was even more fun than the Biden's Bane. Just having it bolt action is pretty sweet.
Absolutely, and the barrel nut attachment's very interesting. For those that haven't seen it, the Biden's Bane attaches more like at the sides, and this looked like it was something underneath potentially. Like, what is that? If you could describe that attachment method for us.
Yeah, so the barrel sits in the receiver just like a regular AR-15 upper, and then the barrel, I guess you could call it a barrel nut, but it's also how the handguard mounts. The handguard, well, the barrel mount will slide on there. Handguard slides over that, and the four rods that run through it, similar to like the Biden's Bane, go all the way down and hold that barrel nut in place, and then you clamp the handguard around over that.
Okay.
It's kind of similar to like a standard AR-15, but then yeah, you just have those rods holding it down together.
And the Biden's Bane birthday was the other day, and it really, looking back, such an influential and still influencing things today, like this Ghost Bolt, and so many other, the VC-15, so many other guns with not only the attachment method, but the modularity of it, being able to print and replace multiple parts fairly easily. Right. Such an important like note in 3D printed gun history. And kind of going into the Ghost Bolt project, what do you think that needs more? Does it just need more testers? Does it need more rounds down range? What are we looking at to get that beta completed?
Well, that is not my beta actually. That's from the guy Guns for You, and he has actually since I've been like posting mine on Instagram. In that time, he actually, I guess, finished this beta and updated it to the Ghost Bolt 2. And it's got like different, you can have the charging handle on either side, and I guess the charging handle is built into the bolt now. I just haven't gotten around to doing that yet.
Oh, awesome.
Building it out just because I haven't broken anything yet, so I'm just keeping this one running.
Oh yeah, he's got the 1.8 to 2.
Actually had it out at the range just yesterday. Yeah, the 2.0. There we go.
Awesome.
So that's pretty cool, and I think most of the parts. So like you can put that whole upper together, and I could still use it on the lower that came with the Ghost Bolt 1. It's the same lower. I think it's the like an apple pie lower or something like that.
For Middleton.
I just like scratched a bug bite on my leg and it's bleeding.
This is interesting. That's super awesome. So people go check out the Ghost Bolt from Guns for You. Fully 3D printed stuff is always super cool, especially because we talked about this in DMs for a little bit, but people always have the, Well, it's not even fully 3D printed. It's got some metal in it. It's not even the 3D
Right.
printed, and it's like, oh well. I mean, there are options, and like there are things you can do, and people are working to have fully 3D printed things. This is something multiple people are working on all the time, right? Like this isn't.
Yeah. Awesome.
Exactly. People way smarter than me for sure. Kind of going into, we talked briefly about the TX22. How
Yeah.
do you view the explosion in popularity and price of the TX22? Because you really did kind of catch it at a high point. The Szechuan Stendo became super popular almost immediately because of the TX22 name, and we're talking prices that doubled, or people were paying over retail for a Taurus,
Oh yeah.
and still are. How do you view that explosion in popularity and price?
I'm glad I got mine when I did, honestly, because the prices just every time I see one, they're going up now. Like they're like over $400 now,
It's crazy.
and
It's
like what, like 2 years ago they were like $200.
absolutely it exact like doubled. It's absolutely absurd to think about because this isn't a trajectory guns normally take. Now, with part kits, sometimes I'll give an example. The Recession Ruger a few months ago, PSR made a video and it immediately like jumped in price a little bit. Ruger parts kits, and
Oh
that's
yeah.
like that's one thing because it's jumping like 20 or 30%. Someone popular said something about this. These are this got so many people into 3D printed guns and accessories and things of that nature because they like that
Because of
was
the
their intro to it.
price.
Yeah, because the
Right.
price, like, and it's something they can get and say, oh, I want to go fast. So many FRT options and the extended mag. Of course, people are like, once you go fast, you're like, I want to shoot more fast, send more downrange fast,
Right.
and
Yeah, and there's not like extended magazines from anybody other than Pro Mag.
which are dog shit.
Like official Mac. So there's a Mac mounts. The he's got the what 60 rounds. That thing's crazy.
And it's so cool to see, particularly the people on Instagram who had never shot an FRT or a machine gun or anything of that nature, and
Yeah,
shooting this for the first time. The TX22 has brought so much joy to people. You can scroll Instagram Reels and doom scroll for however long, and you won't run out of videos of people posting it. It's super cool to see,
right.
and seeing people put the Szechuan Stendo on a completely otherwise or in a completely otherwise stock gun, it really does bridge the gap in a way that few things do. And it's just so cool to see. How did it feel seeing so many people using it?
It's freaking awesome. Every time I see it, like I'll just see it randomly, like won't even be tagged in it, and I'll just see it up there because either they bought it and I don't know, who they are, and I sent it out to them, or just because they found the file and printed it off, and like it's really cool to see. I'm glad it's working good for everybody. It was like a really, really, really short beta for that one.
It really was. It was almost up. Like you were posting it, and then our boy Stay Free 3DP immediately was in on it. Like people immediately took it up, and he mentions ordering the Szechuan Stendo right here. This is, I can guarantee you, this has the keyholing and lemon guarantee of better than a Pro Mag. Like, come on now, it looks so sharp.
Yeah.
So cool. And you can go to GrixxlyPrints.com. Ton of cool stuff there, in theory. And while we're bringing this picture up right here, for those that don't see it, we've got a TX22 chassis. So this is a hot debate in the 3D printed gun community. The chassis versus frame debate. Why do you think people care so much about it?
I'm not really sure. I guess if you're trying to be like a 3D print purist, I don't know if that's the right term, but you know, if you're just trying to get everything 3D printed and have no serial numbers and just, you know, be on that kind of track, then why would you want a chassis? Because you got to go buy a real gun with a serial number, you know. So I guess that could be the mindset some people have. I honestly don't care because I buy real guns. I just print gun stuff for fun also.
No, exactly.
So I don't really see the debate there. Have both.
100%. And for those of us in free states, it really isn't it isn't as big of an issue. I understand the idea of like, oh, it's not as essential to the core of 3D2A or whatever that may be. And I do somewhat understand some of the lazier ones, like, okay, if it doesn't look like anything new and you're just basically putting a jacket on it per se, okay, that's less interesting to me.
Right.
But some of these are like fully transformed, like it completely changes the aesthetic of the gun.
Yeah, and I think that's like my favorite kind of chassis where, you know, like you could put a clamshell on the TX22 and now you got like an MP7 at home and it costs bare minimum to shoot. Like, that's awesome.
Exactly. And talk about like ammo price too. Holy hell. Like we're
you can't beat 22 ammo prices like anywhere. You can buy it at like Tractor Supply. Sometimes you can get it at, you know, like Walmart still some places, and
no, definitely.
It's cheap.
It is, and it's so cheap to take people out and shoot with it. You don't feel bad like bringing it for the homies or whatever, being like, yeah, run through a box. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like much less easy. Like it's much less expensive to do that and easier to do that than, especially with like the economy. Like everything's fucked right now. I understand like stuff's super hard for people. And also, something I want to bring up with the chassis is these may be guns people already have, right? Like, it may be a gun someone has that they bought previously before they knew or started 3D printing guns.
Yeah, and even maybe you've never 3D printed an actual full gun yet, but you have this full gun sitting around that you bought already. Now you can 3D print something and put it on there and maybe see how that is. You get more comfortable with like 3D printing guns before you like dive into something that could potentially like blow up in your hand. You know, you want to make sure that you get comfortable with it first. And I think a chassis is a good place to start because you can do a TX22, you can do a Glock. They got chassis for like everything. So,
and if
starting there is a good way to ease yourself in or ease in like your friends and stuff.
100%. And that you mentioned friends, which is a great aspect because so many people are like scared to shoot a 3D printed gun. You mentioned like joking about exploding in the hand. It is so much easier to say, okay, this gun isn't 3D printed, just the shell is, just the jacket, just the cover per se, and explaining that to someone's like, oh, okay, so it's just the outside, okay, as opposed to
decoration.
Yeah, exactly. As opposed to, oh, this is whatever it may be. And also, you open up tons of optic options, brace and stock options. There are so many things you can do, particularly with stocks being $0 stamped now.
Yeah.
If someone already has a gun, this is such an affordable route for them to go.
Definitely. Yeah, you can SBR your Glock. You can
SBR your Glock for essentially, like, we're talking about tens of dollars. Once you get like the kits and the filament and screws and things of that nature. And so I feel like people are so quick to look down on it. And yes, there are a lot of like chassis that are like kind of lazy and don't look super great. But for those that are, like, there are so many that look just sharp and catch people's eye and at a range are going to be hits. People are going to want to come over and shoot it. And
yeah, definitely.
I just think it's so important to work with what you have. And if someone already, like you mentioned, TX22, every Glock, there's chassis for every Glock. There's chassis for MMPs. There's chassis for so much. And if you don't see it, talk about design challenge. This is not super ridiculously hard to create by yourself in CAD if that's something you want to work on. Like, if that's something you want to learn, go ahead. Like, there's CAD classes. There's tons of CAD stuff on YouTube. You can do it, and make it for your gun. Other people will want to use it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. If you make it, there's somebody else out there who's like waiting for you to make it.
100%. That's always the case. Um, Going to another controversial aspect, and been known to get some jokes off on these guys. The launcher boys. You mentioned your first print was a launcher, and you have the Pen 15 kit, the stainless steel shells, which are actually sold out right now. The mini breacher. Here, I'll move this out of the way so people can see this. What attracts you so much to launchers? The projectile dysfunction, of course. What intrigues you so much about launchers?
I don't know. Autism?
Because you will post, and you guys should follow him on Instagram, Grixxly Prints. And I'll tag him obviously. You post just shooting into the air often. Like
all the time. It's
all the time.
Good like rent control.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about saving money. That's how you really save money, right?
Yep. For everybody though, too, like the whole neighborhood. It keeps everybody's rent down.
Being a good neighbor, if anything.
It's just super fun, man. I don't know. Something about it like not being it's like in that in-between space of like a slingshot and a gun, you know, like you're getting like I don't know, you got stuff going bang in your hand and it goes bang in the sky. You can do smoke. There's so many different options for it and it just looks cool.
Particularly with July 4th coming up, like such a great toy to bring out that people are intrigued by.
Oh yeah, like when someone sees you like shoulder a freaking what they think is like a rocket launcher or a grenade launcher and you shoot fireworks into the sky, like for somebody that's never seen any of that, it's like mind-blowing.
And I think humans have a natural fascination with things that go fast or are hard or loud. Like you mentioned slingshots. That's a great addle-addles going back to indigenous populations. It's so cool to see that, like, think about it, exploding a bear's skull or some crazy shit. Like, and you see the explosion, and regardless of whether you like are even able to process it, I feel like a human mind goes, ooh, that's cool.
Like that.
Yeah, exactly. Now they have stagnated somewhat in popularity. We talked about like I kind of view the peak as when Unseen Killer was popping out. The cherry popper was very popular, and again, we'll see a bunch around July 4th. Do you think there's a way to change that trajectory and for them to become more popular?
I think that the 15 millimeter stuff is like easily like one of the faster growing like launcher segments, I guess if you want to call it. Like it's so easy to get into 15 millimeter with the Pen 15 and like projectile dysfunction and baby nameless, and there's like a baby M203 out there now. Like there's 15 millimeters out there and it's fun.
No, 100%. And
people are realizing it's a way easier and like less technical than they like imagine, and it just once you get into that, like you're like, well, I want to get a bigger launcher now.
And I think you're 100% right. I think 15 millimeter is the entry point for people because getting close to the line, and not saying I'm not telling people not to do it or anything, I'm just saying when you're getting into the 37, 38, 39 range, people's buttholes start to pucker a little bit, rightfully. Because all it takes is one cop misunderstanding it or not knowing what it is. But when you get to 15, this is clearly not a 40 millimeter launcher. Like this is, it's smaller. It's much more,
it's a lot easier to process.
100%. And you mentioned options. People have so many more options now.
Yeah.
For the 15.
Yeah. 15 millimeter, you got lots of people have made remixes, and I don't even know. There's tons out there that I didn't name just because I don't know. I'm not familiar with them, but
absolutely search the GunCat Index
platform to design for.
And we talked earlier about lower risk and lower factor of any potential injury or scariness level, it's literally half the size, or less than half the size of the 37s. And a quick story, real quick. So, one guy got at his fence post on r/Foscad back in the day. He measured it, and it measures to 40 because obviously the projectiles themselves are not 40, but the hole itself. And that's an example of, you don't want to be explaining that to a fucking stupid cop. You don't want to be explaining that to a dumbass
fence
cop.
Posts.
Yeah, the classic.
Fence posts they're not 37 millimeter.
No, absolutely not. And this is something you don't have to worry about, something you can easily show people. It really is. I kind of want to compare it to, like, we talk about getting people often, even just last week, Chuck E. Cheese touched me. The first gun he shot was a 12 gauge that his dad gave him. And it really is. You're not shooting a 12 gauge or anything like that. This is a 22 to the quote-unquote 12 gauge of a traditional launcher, or a 37 or 38. So much more accessible, so much easier to use. Hardware kits are really reasonable.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about a lift charge.
It's a different, it really is like a totally different experience. I would highly recommend this. People have done all sorts of cool stuff. I've seen a couple dudes have done it for friends that have passed away, fired ashes, super cool. Tons of fireworks. You guys will be seeing this on July 4th, coming up here in a few weeks, next month. And I encourage people, if you haven't, to play around with it a little bit. Again, low stakes, low risk, very low barrier of cost entry. Something to get your feet wet and see if you like launchers more. Again, this isn't committing to printing every single launcher on the gun count index. It's simply taking a look at something, playing with it, a good toy to show people. We love July 4th around here. It's what I call one of the free yard pop days of the year. You can let off some yard pops, and they're free. So even if you live in a major metropolitan area, you can get a couple yard pops off. Particularly if it's fireworks, people will just think it's fireworks, won't care where notice. The 15, go watch, go follow Grixxly. He'll post videos of it. It doesn't look scary. It doesn't sound scary.
Yeah, I load mine really basic. It's actually it's so easy to load them. You just throw some black powder in there, and that's all you have to use. You don't have to use anything fancy if you don't want to. You could, spend all day cracking open fireworks and stealing their guts and repacking them in there, or getting ordering like aluminum powder or whatever to make a louder bang. But if all you want to do is just do some little bird bangers in the sky, just keep it simple, keep it cheap. You can shoot them all day.
Absolutely. And talking about another one of your interests here, which intersects and is going to be the cover of the episode, my Marinara that I printed. You have a particular interest in muzzle devices. Both flash hiders, silencers. Why do you think that is?
I think it's just kind of like fun I like to like think about stuff in like slow motion, if that makes sense. So like when you're shooting, and you watch like a ballistic high speed video on YouTube, and they show you like the crazy muzzle flash as the bullet's like slowly flying out of the barrel, and you can see all these crazy patterns and shapes, and you know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, for sure.
So like I love thinking about that type of stuff. So then I was like just thinking about how I could make something that could do that. And if it was possible with 3D printing, obviously you've seen stuff like the FTN and all these printed suppressors. So I knew it was possible. I just wanted to try my hand at it, and ended up having a lot of fun with it. It's fun to just think of different designs and slice them up and look inside, see if you think it's going to work or not. And then, just go from there, get some people beta testing them. And I think it's just really fun to have something that you can 3D print and put on the end of your gun, where like all the business happens, and it can hold up and keep its shape and not blow up. And people think that 3D printing stuff just always blows up, but here we are doing fully 3D printed muzzle devices. I think it's pretty sick.
No, absolutely. I think that's such a great point because we do get the, oh, well, okay, well, some of it's 3D printed, but none of the, no, there's no pressure bearing, or, and in like, partially that is somewhat true, but you see, like, you mentioned the FTN, you can get so many rounds through FTN. Like, we have mutuals with thousands of rounds through them, like, particularly if you're not shooting FRT or anything like that. PSR has done great videos on the FTN. And we just had actually Ruby, the Crescent Turret 3 here recently, today as we were recording this video. In those 3 years, you talk about how much it's progressed, and there was recently a quote, actually, the Mangione case is going on. Obviously, the FTN3 was used for that. Allegedly. I don't even know if he did it. But no, so that has progressed to the point we recently had the FTN5, Red Bull cans, steps in progression people at one point thought was impossible. And you mentioned these simple muzzle devices that are only a tap die away from going on your gun. They're very easy to put on. They're seriously, as far as things that you 3D print and put on your gun, this is probably easier than about anything aside from maybe like something that goes on the pick rail or something. Because even the group is kind of harder than this. It is so easy. You just screw it on. People have loved the Marinara. I did a Nerf gun. I did the Marinara in orange, and it is such a big bitch. It's juicy. It's got some meat on it, and it's a meaty sauce.
Yeah, the big Marinara comp.
Yep, and it really gives the old school oil filter effect. So fucking cool, so fun. And you mentioned it's just fun to complete the look of the gun. So often in history, people have been limited by what they can do, what their finances can do. My Marinara comp costs like, I don't know, $1 or something to print. Like, and that's a large one, right? Like you're talking about tens of cents to have something on the end of your gun. With get the fingerprint stuff and all that stuff. Suppressors are $0 to apply for now. The cost of printed ones are not as high as you think. Like, we're like tens of dollars. It is so possible to have these on your guns, and I think it so completes the look of the gun. I love the bright colors when people do that. Orange is funny because they hate it, and poking fun at the orange tips. A big orange tip.
Gigantic
orange tip. And do you think there's utility in that, having these clearly 3D printed guns to spread the message to people easier than traditionally like a black 3D printed Glock may?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I think like if you're 3D printing guns, like you should be having fun with it and like making it look how you want. Because if you just wanted a black gun, just go buy like a black gun. Like, I don't know. No,
absolutely. And it's, if you want to do that, fine. I'm glad you're doing what you want, but put a comp on it. Like, there's tons of the kitty can looks great in black. Just the sleek, just looks so good in black. The AWCY, the burnt bacon, another great one. There are so many, and those are some of the older ones. So many new ones.
I have the I had the kitty can on my Ghost Bolt for the longest time ever until like yesterday.
It looks so good. It's clean, and those are quote unquote old for compared to like the age of 3D2A and things of that nature. So there are options. You can find one that matches the theme of your gun. A lot of people, you can go in Blender and put some cool shit on the outside. Again, and if you're scared, you're like, I don't want to do the silencer, I'm not signing up for that shit. You don't have to. There's tons of comps. It's just a hole. It doesn't affect anything. There's no dampening feature. There's even the loudener. We have the loudener,
Right.
which is
Yeah,
essentially
most of the time they get louder.
yeah, yeah. The loudener too, which is essentially a horn on it. So there are so many options. I encourage people to take a look. I think, like you said, it totally completes the look of the gun. I'm starting to view 3D printed guns as naked without them. I almost view it as more essential than a stock or a brace because I feel like it balances the gun out so much more. And it's
Yeah.
easily identifiable to people to see it and go, oh, that's colored, that's printed. That
Right.
is such an easy thing to, like, even like a toddler knows that's end of the gun. Like, that's the part where the bullet comes out. So
Right.
it is so cool to see that. I would love to see them, and I'll speak for Mr. Grizzly here. If you print a Marinara or a Szechuan Stendo or any of the things we've talked about, he would love to see them. You can tag him in it. Every dev loves seeing their work out there. It's so cool to see. And so go print these things. Go look up Grixxly. We still got a little bit again, but I want to put his plugs in. Grixxly Prints. Go to Instagram real quick. THEE_GRIXXLY. And on his Instagram, you can see the from Ghost Gun 3D. You can see the absolute sick chassis here. So cool. Looks
I
beautiful.
freaking love that. That's one of my favorite builds right now too.
It's so good, and it really does. I love these as well that toe the line. That it's like, oh, people like kind of get a glance and it's like, oh, that doesn't. I haven't seen anything like that in a store. And then they look closer and they're like, oh, you can talk to them at the range. Oh, that is 3D printed. But it utilizes colors that traditional manufacturers use: the grays, the blacks, the tans, the FDE.
Yeah.
Looks so sharp. It's.
I love that tan color. It's discontinued now too.
It is.
Yep, I got one roll. Got one roll here still. But they discontinued the brown glass filled nylon.
Sad
I
day.
know.
We got a Mac here as well. And again, I want to see pictures like this every time. Every one of yours has a muzzle device on it, and of some
I
kind.
feel like they have to. You can print them. Why not?
Exactly. And as far as filming goes, these are almost always going to be less than a frame. like,
Yep.
unless it's something weird, it's always going to be less than a frame. We see a Marinara here with the PWC9 from Unseen Killer and Night Alliance. Such just clean, and we've been talking about the black, even with the black. But you see it and you're like, ooh, what's that honking fat? Let me see that fatty at the front. Turn that. I want to see that fatty from the front.
Right.
And so cool. Encourage everyone to do this. Kind of closing out here a little bit. What inspires you to create? You've become quite prolific. You're posting things frequently. You're updating your site. You've got GLOOBed out. You're churning out GLOOB.
Dude.
You're gloobing.
Goblin.
You are the GLOOB goblin. What inspires you to create? What inspires you to keep pushing, have new ideas, develop those ideas, and move on to new projects?
I think just being like I've always wanted to create whether it's like some type of art and music or something like that, just working with my hands, just doing anything like that. And then when I found like the 3D printing community and how cool it can be, I think being able to like create and share, like how everybody can create and share with each other is just like one of the coolest things ever. And then when you throw it into like the gun community, when you mix that in there, it's just, I don't know, something about that like space is just really fun to be a part of. You meet a bunch of really cool people, and I really think that's just it, man. It's just like fun for me. It's fun.
And you mentioned the music, very common denominator between gun devs, 3D printed gun creators, and we talk about like the free use of stuff. it's almost like sampling, right? Someone samples
Yeah,
your marinara and turns it into another kind of sauce, turns it into some
right.
vodka sauce or something. Someone remixes. It's literally remixing, right? Like, so
Yep.
it
Yeah.
there is so many parallels there, and we talked about human urge earlier to see things go boom. I think the same place human urge to create comes from, and not only to create but to show other people, to say like, whoa, this is cool. I often joke in banned states and banned countries, the hardest part of 3D printing a gun is not telling people about it.
Seriously, I know. Yeah.
Because if you were in those places, uh, love to you first of all. I hope that you make it out, but that's the heart. So many times we'll see a full arsenal and someone slipped up at work or slipped up and told a friend, and now they're in a cage, and they got all that done. But the hardest part was not telling people about it and not spreading the signal. And it really is to show each other. So go to the GunCat Index forum. Go to r/3d2a. Post these things. Share these things. Upload files to Odyssey.
Yeah.
Uh, Use hashtag 3d2a or hashtag GunCat. It'll go on the index automatically. And you can get as much out of this as you want. You mentioned you don't even know, like, it's just in you, right? If you
Yeah,
feel
you could like doom scroll forever and still not see every design out there.
100% for any model you want, right? And you
Yeah.
mentioned if you see something that you think needs to exist, I promise you there's someone who will want to print it. I
Yep.
promise you.
And if you maybe don't know how to do the CAD yet for it, it doesn't hurt to ask, like, I don't know, like just the internet, just ask the internet. Somebody's probably already working on it or wanted to work on it, just didn't think anyone else wanted it.
Yeah, it may
Like
be a thing where it's
it can be made, it can get done.
100%. It may be a thing stuck in beta hell. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It may be a thing
Yep.
that's like, oh, this is out there, but somebody has the files and it hasn't really been shared. But you can get whatever out of this you want, and that's what I want to encourage people so much is however much you've printed, you can continue to get more out of it. However little you've printed, you can get whatever out of it you want. There is,
Yep.
you can, to your heart's desire, right?
There's like no ceiling on 3D printing.
Absolutely. And that's so, kind of closing here, that's so hard for me when planning out builds and things of that nature, is kind of breaking the paradigms, right? Like getting outside of the manufacturer mindset and saying, you don't have to be in any kind of box. You like, there's no perceive, like, there's only the physical limitations of the CAD,
Right.
of the physics, right? There's not
Yeah, design ways there's no limit for design.
absolutely, like, there really isn't.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I say like me because I feel like a lot of people get caught up in this, is you follow the gun pages on Instagram, you see what's being put out, it's a lot of the same stuff, but it
Right.
really is like, even just textures, you can do whatever, put whatever in Blender. I had Gutter Cheese on, he put LSD strips, like LSD texturing strips in Blender and put it on a grip.
Right.
There's no,
Yeah, you can. Yeah, nobody's stopping you.
nobody's stopping you. Nobody's stopping you. What we will stop you from doing is eating glue. Even though
Don't eat glue.
they don't want you to eat it, supposedly. Well, why you make good color if you don't want me to eat it?
It's food for robots.
Um, I joke because I responded to one of your the first GLOOB tweets. I put a little cat that said I eated it, and people love that. It is super fun though, and when buying this, we love supporting people from the community. Realize you're working on more dev stuff. Like, this is like money from your projects are going toward future projects, right? Like,
Yeah, money. All the money from my shop pretty much just goes back into stuff for my shop.
Absolutely. And we talk about like accessibility wise, there's like $20 and $30 like kits here. Like even if
Yeah, I'm
someone
not trying to make a whole bunch of money off this. It's 3D printed stuff, or like, you know, parts kits are just that. Like it's a couple nuts and bolts, and maybe I cut something or filed something here, but it's like I don't need to rip people off for that. Just give them. I usually like I go find like the closest similar thing, and I just like go cheaper.
and I mean
That's really all I do. It doesn't make sense to me to make stuff harder for people to get.
no 100%. And talking about the Szechuan Sendo, your files are free online, right? Like at the GunCat Index. Like you encourage people to make this. If you'd like to support, or for some reason don't have a printer, or are interested about 3D printing but haven't splurged for a printer yet, these are great ways to get your feet wet, to step into 3D printing without a huge burden or barrier. If you have a TX22 already, there's so many videos on Instagram. If you, no joke, just search TX22, you will come across videos of the Szechuan Stendo.
Yeah, you'll probably see it in there.
100%. And so, seriously, like, I encourage people, go buy from Grixxly. He's a cool dude. Follow him. He'll post updates frequently. You mentioned, like, the beta. That's how I realized the Szechuan Stendo was in beta. He posted it on his Instagram. And I encourage you to follow all devs, but you will post frequently. You are good about answering questions in the comments. If people, if you have a question on about a build or something like that, feel free to comment. If you build something, tag him, please. He would love to see it. Tag me. I'd love to see it. It's super cool seeing cool builds. Closing out.
I see I go through like my entire inbox, so I respond to people. I'm not just reading it and like buzzing off. I'm actually checking everything out. You can ask anybody who's DM me.
And that is great, because I talked about it with Chuck E. Cheese Touched Me last week. Onboarding is something people view as the hardest part, like asking questions, because they're like, I don't want to ask a stupid question. This is confusing.
They don't want to feel like they're annoying or something.
We were all there at one point. And don't let that stop you from 3D printing or anything of that nature. Kind of closing out here, what are some projects you're interested in working on in the future? You mentioned the Ghost Bolt, something you're kind of playing with right now. What are some projects you're dabbling in right now, potentially looking at going into the rest of the year?
So just me and the Marinara team have been just all in on 15 millimeter stuff, and we're working on we're looking at doing like a 15 millimeter trash panda.
Ooh.
And we've got updated projectile dysfunction, or like a V2 or something like that. We've got something coming out for that, being updated for the mini shells, like specifically. And the baby nameless is getting updated. We've got a double barrel hammer fired coming out, and that's 15 millimeter as well. So we're just trying to have as much fun as we can. We're thinking about doing a mag fed one as well, semi-auto.
Incredible.
That was kind of the whole reason I even thought about the metal mini shells, was just for that reason alone, really.
That's awesome. And again, as the time we're recording this, the metal mini shells are out of stock. Those will be back in stock eventually. Go to GLOOBprints.com. Obviously, check them out. Get some glue it up. If you do get I mean, you're going to be shooting this a lot. You want to get it nice and glued up. You want it covered in glue. You want it so glued your hands are like your hands feel the glue.
You just want to like get the big glue.
Oh wow! Mega glue unlocked. Ooh. Oh god. Oh my god. It started to blur that a little bit, and that was perfect. That was perfect. Oh man, look how thick that is. Look at the glue is so thick.
It gets censored if I get too close.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's actually so funny. I'm gonna see. That's so funny.
That's hilarious.
But go support Grixxly Prints. Super fun guy who is helping the community. Go check out these offerings at his store. I'm glad to hear you guys are approaching the 15 millimeter because, like we said earlier, it's a great entry point. It's something that's been neglected for a while. It's something people are going to feel much more comfortable with than a 37, than getting a fence post or ordering a sketchily measured pipe from Alibaba. It's much easier than that. You can sleep comfortably at night knowing your dogs.
Yeah.
They won't get you for this, at least.
Right.
Thank you for coming on, Grixxly. Everyone go follow him, and I will talk to you guys next week.